Hello everybody, this is Isaac Vega here with Rose Gauntlet Entertainment, and I'm here to show you a little bit more about Keystone. Now, if you've never played Keystone before, this is a great video to watch because this is going to give you an overview on how to score at the end of the game, which is the best way to kind of learn how to get good points throughout the course of the game. Understanding scoring is really key to Keystone and one of the most complicated parts, so it's great to start here to kind of just get a really good overview of the game. So we're going to go ahead and jump in right here and start off with the Bumblebee. The Bumblebee is great because it has almost all the symbols that you'll see on species cards throughout the game. On the left side, you're going to see the 4 habitats that we have in the game. And they're going to represent, the top one here represents forest jungle. Second one here represents deserts and plains. Third one here represents wetlands and rivers. And the fourth one represents alpines and Arctic. The alpine and Arctic habitats. Right up here in the right, we have the Keystone species symbol. That's really important during the course of the game. I'm going to show you how that works in scoring, but it's really, really nice. And you also have a season symbol down here as well. That can represent one of the different 4 seasons, and every single card has a season symbol. You'll also see that there is one more symbol in the game. That is the endangered or threatened species symbol. That's not going to matter much for scoring, but it does matter for during the course of the game in order to be able to place research tokens on cards and some different skills that you'll have in the game. But let's go ahead and jump in straight into scoring. I'm going to go ahead and fill out my score sheet here as we move along. So we're going to go ahead and start right with column 1. And up here in column 1, we have a great row that gives you an understanding of how to score a standard row. So right up here, we have the cactus, we have the tortoise, we have the white-tailed deer, and we have the American bison. Now you'll notice that they all have a matching desert plain symbol, which is great. That's what we want. We want at least one matching symbol amongst our row. Since all 4 of them, we're going to be able to score all 4 of these cards. They're each individually going to be able to give us 1 point. So we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And the reason for that is because in addition to having a matching habitat symbol, they also are in sequential order, either ascending or descending, and they don't have any gaps. So there's no numbers missing in between them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're going to give us 1, 2, 3, and 4 points. Now, I did explain that the Keystone symbol is really important. So you'll notice that I have 3 species in here that are all Keystone species. And that means we're going to get to score this sequence again for every Keystone symbol that we have. So currently I'm at 4. I'm going to score it again. It's going to give me another 4 because of the cactus's Keystone, and then I'm going to get another 4 because of the tortoise, and then an additional 4 because of the bison. So in total, I'll be counting this sequence 4 total times, and that means I'm going to go ahead and get 16 points. So I'm going to mark that there on my score sheet. This Excel score sheet will be made available to you if you're signing up for our TTS demo, or I'm sorry, our Tabletopia demos, or you're getting trying out Keystone on Tabletopia during the Kickstarter or during the in-between time. So we're going to go ahead and score the second column here. Now this column I did a little worse at. So you'll notice here that there's a Virginia possum. Now the Californian condor does not combo with this possum because number 1, no matching habitat symbols, and number 2, they unfortunately don't have a 3 in between them in order for that to work either. So there's just nothing that's going to work there. The mangrove tree doesn't combo with the Californian condor. I'm sorry, the mangrove tree crab. I can't speak. Very tired today, but we'll move on. We'll do this. We can do this. The mangrove tree crab, however, does score with the red fox because they do have a matching wetlands river symbol amongst them, and they are in sequential order, so 2 and 3. So we're going to go ahead and get 2 points from that ecosystem sequence that's taken place. And we're also going to go ahead and gain as well the Keystone symbol here. I went ahead and wrote some Z's in my Excel sheet because I wasn't on Tabletopia when I was clicking stuff. So that's going to go ahead and get us 2 points because we formed a sequence. And it's also going to get us doubles because we're going to go ahead and count it again. So 4 points in total for column 2. Right here, you're going to notice that we have a wild card. So wild cards can represent any number that we choose when scoring, as long as those numbers are between 1 and 5. So I can't just make this a 6 in order to go ahead and score 6, 5, 4, even though they all have matching habitats. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. I could make it a 4, which would allow me to score with my mountain lion, and that will get me 1, 2 points. And then I could go ahead and also use the keystone symbol there and allow myself to gain an additional 2 points if I wanted to do it that way. But preferably, I'm going to go ahead and actually take this peregrine falcon and also score it with my mountain lion. So you can only score one sequence when you're scoring in a column or a row. So because I've decided that this is probably going to be the better scoring for me, I'm going to go ahead and do that and gain this one here. So it's going to get 1, 2, and then I'm going to score it again, 3, 4, and then I'm going to score it again because of this keystone symbol, 5, 6. Now, unfortunately, our poor Virginia opossum did not get added into the sequence. Even though they were in descending sequential order, we are missing a 3 there, and that's not going to work. So we can only score these two together. So I'm going to gain 6 points from that sequence. So I'm going to write that in my score sheet. Next thing here, I'm going into this column, and I have a bald eagle for 3, and he has a nice forest symbol up there. Also with the elk has a forest, and it's going 3. And our northern raccoon has a lovely little forest as well. And our bumblebee has a forest as well. So we have a full sequence. And they are in descending sequential order. And it's perfect. It's wonderful. It's exactly what we want. So it's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And look at this. We have a research token on a qualifying card. And now how research tokens work is that if they are in a sequence that's going to score, you're going to get an extra point in that sequence for every research token that you have. So I'm actually going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for the sequence. And the keystone doubles everything, including research tokens. So they're going to go ahead and get me 10 points in total for this sequence. So I'm going to write that down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the columns. I'm sorry, the rows. I already did the columns. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the rows, and we're going to start right up here on top. You'll notice that the score sheet as well gives you a nice little reference to what column you're going to be scoring and what row you're going to be scoring by giving you a visual aid as well there. So starting right up here, we're going to go ahead and gain the saguaro cactus again. The Virginia possum, unfortunately, nope, doesn't sequence with it. So actually, we're not going to gain that cactus. But the possum does sequence with our wild card and our bald eagle because the wild card can represent a 3. So we're going to go 2, 3, 4. There are no research tokens. There are no keystone species here. So we're just going to gain the 3 points that we would. So I'm going to go and write that down. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to row number 2. We have the gopher tortoise here. Let's see if that matches up. Oh no, unfortunately, even though they have matching symbols, we do not have a 3 in between there, so we won't score that. However, we do have the California condor and the mountain lion matching up, so that's awesome. And the elk is not going to work either because there's no 4 in between them, and honestly, like, this would be a better scoring anyways because of that awesome research token. So let's go ahead and score this. It's going to be 1 for the California Condor, 2 for the Mountain Lion, and we're going to gain a 3rd because of the research token. And we're going to go ahead and take all of that and double it because we have a Keystone symbol, or count it all again. That's the correct way of saying it due to the rules. So we're going to go ahead and gain 6 points off of that sequence. So we're moving on to our 3rd one down here. Let's see what we have matching up. So this is an absolute mess. It looks like we have a 3 and a 2. That could work. Unfortunately, our 4 won't work. Our sweet little Keystone species. And our raccoon won't work even though he has a research token. So this is the only sequence that's really going to work for us. It's going to be in descending order. We have a 1, 2, and then we also have a Keystone symbol right here. So we're going to count it again. 3, 4. And lastly, we have this row, our 4th row. We're going to go ahead and have in descending order as well. 4, 3, 2, 1. They all have matching symbols. Yes? Yes, right up here we have our forest. That's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and score that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We also have 2 research tokens on there. So 5, 6. So far our sequence has scored a 6. And now we have 2 keystones. So we're going to count it again. Another 6 to make 12. And then we're going to count it again because we have another 1 on the bison over here. So that's awesome. Oh, shooting over there just so you guys can see the keystone symbol. So we have a total of 6. Counted it again, 12. And then another 6 because of the bison. So that's going to be 18 points in total. Yep. Wrote Z's in there. That's what I get for having 2 screens. So, in addition to scoring on your board, you're also going to have a secret objective that you get to choose at the beginning of the game. That secret objective is going to allow you to score different types of sequences and things that are usually in association to the symbols that are on your right. So such as your season symbols and your endangered species symbol. So I said, oh, the endangered species, not gonna worry about it this game. I was wrong. Because the endangered species symbol is going to score me some points based on my secret objective. So my secret objective, I can orient in any way that I want. And as long as I have 2 species adjacent to each other, I can go ahead and move that and be able to claim that. So my gopher tortoise right here and my California condor have endangered species symbols, endangered or threatened species symbols, right next to each other, like this pattern. I can rotate this in any way that I want, but you can't flip it. If it was a weird symbol, you can't flip it upside down, but you can rotate it. I guess you can't flip it, you can't mirror it. I think that's probably the best way to say it. But as long as this one doesn't matter. Even if you did mirror it, it would be the exact same. So here is a set of 2 endangered/threatened species that are right next to each other. So I'm going to get those 7 points that this card claims me. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry about that. This is just one take, one recording. I'm not going to be doing editing because I'm lazy. So, sorry about that sneeze, but I hope you enjoyed it. Anyways, there are no other sets of this sequence anywhere else. Now, for example, if I would have had another endangered/threatened symbol on the white-tailed deer, for example, right here, I couldn't rescore it because it was adjacent to the gopher tortoise, because the gopher tortoise already scored once. So the same card can't be part of the sequence again. But let's say I had the red fox had an endangered species symbol down here. I could have scored it with the American bison, so it would have gained me additional 7 points. But unfortunately, that is not the case. Well, not unfortunately. I'm glad the the red fox is doing good. He's happy and not on that list. So let's go ahead and get me those 7 points for my secret objective. And lastly, how I'm going to gain points is based on the amount of synergy tokens that I have at the end of the game. Now, synergy, you guys will learn from the other video and from the rule book that you can go ahead and utilize synergy for multiple different things within the game. You can use it to pay for different cards. You can buy wild cards in the game, and they have lots of interesting uses as well in solo mode throughout the game. But here, the amount that you've been able to accumulate at the end of the game that you've kept, for every 3 synergy tokens that you have, you will gain 1 additional point. So I only have 4 here in total, so it's only going to net me 1 point to take me to a total of 75 points. That's pretty good. That's a pretty nice score. I hope you guys have been able to follow along with me, understand how scoring works, and if you guys have any questions whatsoever, you're more than welcome to reach out to us at contact@rosegauntlet.com. You can always reach out on our socials on Instagram or Twitter at @rosegauntlet, and you're more than welcome to engage with us on the Discord if you're watching this during Shucks. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy your demo of Keystone and playing Keystone and getting to know it. We really appreciate you guys, and thanks so much. Bye.